The Encyclopædia Britannica, published by Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc., is a general knowledge English language encyclopedia. It is written by about 100 full-time editors and more than 4,000 contributors, who have included 110 Nobel Prize winners and 5 American presidents. The 2010 version of the 15th edition, which spans 32 volumes and 32,640 pages, was the last printed edition. Digital content and distribution has continued since then. The Britannica is the oldest English language encyclopedia still in production. It was first published between 1768 and 1771 in the Scottish capital of Edinburgh, as 3 volumes. The encyclopedia grew in size. The second edition was 10 volumes, and by its fourth edition it had expanded to 20 volumes. Its rising stature as a scholarly work helped recruit eminent contributors, and the 9th and 11th editions are landmark encyclopedias for scholarship and literary style, beginning with the 11th edition and following its acquisition by an American firm. The Britannica shortened and simplified articles to broaden its appeal to the North American market. In 1933, the Britannica became the first encyclopedia to adopt continuous revision, in which the encyclopedia is continually reprinted, with every article updated on a schedule. In March 2012, Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. announced it would no longer publish printed editions, and would focus instead on Encyclopædia Britannica Online. The 15th edition has a 3-part structure: a 12-volume micropedia of short articles, a 17-volume macropedia of long articles, and a single propedia volume to give a hierarchical outline of knowledge. The micropedia is meant for quick fact-checking and is a guide to the macropedia. Readers are advised to study the propedia outline to understand a subject's context and to find more detailed articles. Over 70 years, the size of the Britannica has remained steady, with about 40 million words on 500,000 topics. Though published in the United States since 1901, the Britannica has for the most part maintained British English spelling. Presents status. Print version since 1985. The Britannica has had 4 parts: the micropedia, the macropedia, the propedia, and a 2-volume index. The Britannica's articles are found in the micro and macropedia, which encompass 12 and 17 volumes, respectively, each volume having roughly 1,000 pages. The 2007 macropedia has 699 in-depth articles, ranging in length from 2 to 310 pages and having references and named contributors. In contrast, the 2007 micropedia has roughly 65,000 articles, the vast majority of which contain fewer than 750 words, no references, and no named contributors. The micropedia articles are intended for quick fact-checking and to help in finding more thorough information in the macropedia. The macropedia articles are meant both as authoritative, well-written articles on the subjects and as storehouses of information not covered elsewhere. The longest article is on the United States, and resulted from the merger of the articles on the individual states. The 2013 edition of Britannica contained approximately 40,000 articles. Information can be found in the Britannica by following the cross-references in the micropedia and macropedia. However, these are sparse, averaging 1 cross-reference per page. Hence, readers are recommended to consult instead the alphabetical index of the propedia, which organizes the Britannica's contents by topic. The core of the prepedia is its outline of knowledge, which aims to provide a logical framework for all human knowledge. Accordingly, the outline is consulted by the Britannica's editors to decide which articles should be included in the micro and macropedia. The outline is also intended to be a study guide, to put subjects in the proper perspective, and to suggest a series of Britannica articles for the student wishing to learn a topic in depth. However, libraries have found that it is scarcely used, and reviewers have recommended that it be dropped from the encyclopedia. The prepedia also has color transparencies of human anatomy and several appendices listing the staff members, advisors, and contributors to all three parts of the Britannica. Taken together, the micropedia and macropedia comprise roughly 40 million words and 24,000 images. The two-volume index has 2,350 pages, listing the 228,274 topics covered in the Britannica, together with 474,675 sub-entries under those topics. The Britannica generally prefers British spelling over American. For example, it uses color, center, and encyclopedia. However, there are exceptions to this rule, such as defense rather than defense. Common alternative spellings are provided with cross-references such as color. See color. Since 1936, the articles of the Britannica have been revised on a regular schedule, with at least 10% of them considered for revision each year. According to one Britannica website, 46% of its articles were revised over the past 3 years. However, according to another Britannica website, only 35% of the articles were revised. The alphabetization of articles in the micropedia and macropedia follows strict rules. Diacritical marks and non-English letters are ignored, while numerical entries such as 1812 are alphabetized as if the number had been written out. Articles with identical names are ordered first by persons, then by places, then by things. Rulers with identical names are organized first alphabetically by country and then by chronology. Thus, Charles III of France precedes Charles I of England, listed in Britannica as the ruler of Great Britain and Ireland. Similarly, places that share names are organized alphabetically by country, then by ever smaller political divisions. In March 2012, the company announced that the 2010 edition would be the last printed version. This was announced as a move by the company to adapt to the times and focus on its future using digital distribution. The peak year for the printed encyclopedia was 1990, when 120,000 sets were sold, but it dropped to 40,000 in 1996. 12,000 sets of the 2010 edition were printed, of which 8,000 had been sold as of 2012. By late April 2012, the remaining copies of the 2010 edition had sold out at Britannica's online store. As of 2016, a replica of Britannica's 1768 first edition is sold on the online store. Related printed material. Britannica Junior was first published in 1934 as 12 volumes. It was expanded to 15 volumes in 1947 and renamed Britannica Junior Encyclopedia in 1963. It was taken off the market after the 1984 printing. A British children's Britannica edited by John Armitage was issued in London in 1960. Its contents were determined largely by the 11+ standardized tests given in Britain. Britannica introduced the children's Britannica to the U.S. market in 1988, aimed at ages 7 to 14. In 1961, a 16-volume young children's encyclopedia was issued for children just learning to read. My First Britannica is aimed at children ages 6 to 12, and the Britannica Discovery Library is for children aged 3 to 6. There have been and are several abridged Britannica encyclopedias. The single-volume Britannica Concise Encyclopedia has 28,000 short articles condensing the larger 32-volume Britannica. There are authorized translations in languages such as Chinese and Vietnamese. Comptons by Britannica, first published in 2007, incorporating the former Compton's Encyclopedia, is aimed at 10 to 17-year-olds and consists of 26 volumes and 11,000 pages. Since 1938, Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. has published annually a Book of the Year covering the past year's events. A given edition of the Book of the Year is named in terms of the year of its publication, though the edition actually covers the events of the previous year. Articles dating back to the 1994 edition are included online. The company also publishes several specialized reference works, such as Shakespeare, The Essential Guide to the Life and Works of the Bard, optical disc, online, and mobile versions. The Britannica Ultimate Reference Suite 2012 DVD contains over 100,000 articles. This includes regular Britannica articles, as well as others drawn from the Britannica Student Encyclopedia, and the Britannica Elementary Encyclopedia. The package includes a range of supplementary content including maps, videos, sound clips, animations and web links. It also offers study tools and dictionary and thesaurus entries from Merriam-Webster. Britannica Online is a website with more than 120,000 articles and is updated regularly. It has daily features, updates and links to news reports from the New York Times and the BBC. As of 2009, roughly 60% of Encyclopædia Britannica's revenue came from online operations, of which around 15% came from subscriptions to the consumer version of the websites. As of 2006, subscriptions were available on a yearly, monthly, or weekly basis. Special subscription plans are offered to schools, colleges and libraries. Such institutional subscribers constitute an important part of Britannica's business. Beginning in early 2007, the Britannica made articles freely available if they are hyperlinked from an external site. Non-subscribers are served pop-ups and advertising. On the 20th of February 2007, Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. announced that it was working with mobile phone search company Ask Me Now to launch a mobile encyclopedia. Users will be able to send a question via text message, and Ask Me Now will search Britannica's 28,000-article concise encyclopedia to return an answer to the query. Daily topical features sent directly to users' mobile phones are also planned. On the 3rd of June 2008, an initiative to facilitate collaboration between online expert and amateur scholarly contributors for Britannica's online content, with editorial oversight from Britannica's staff, was announced. Approved contributions would be credited, though contributing automatically grants Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. perpetual irrevocable license to those contributions. On the 22nd of January 2009, Britannica's president, George Cowes, announced that the company would be accepting edits and additions to the online Britannica website from the public. The published edition of the encyclopedia will not be affected by the changes. Individuals wishing to edit the Britannica website will have to register under the real name and address prior to editing or submitting their Content. All edits submitted will be reviewed and checked and will have to be approved by the Encyclopedia's professional staff. Contributions from non-academic users will sit in a separate section from the expert-generated Britannica content, as will content submitted by non-Britannica scholars. Articles written by users, if vetted and approved, will also only be available in a special section of the website, separate from the professional articles. Official Britannica material would carry a Britannica-checked stamp to distinguish it from the user-generated content. On the 14th of September 2010, Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. announced a partnership with mobile phone development company Concentric-Sky to launch a series of iPhone products aimed at the K-12 market. On the 20th of July 2011, Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. announced that Concentric-Sky had ported the Britannica Kids product line to Intel's Intel Atom-based netbooks. In March 2012, it was announced that the company would cease printing the encyclopedia set, and that it would focus more on its online version. Personnel and management. Contributors. The 2007 print version of the Britannica has 4,411 contributors, many eminent in the fields, such as Nobel laureate economist Milton Friedman, astronomer Carl Sagan, and surgeon Michael DeBakey. Roughly a quarter of the contributors are deceased, some as long ago as 1947, while another quarter are retired or emeritus. Most contribute to only a single article. However, 64 contributed to 3 articles, 23 contributed to 4 articles, 10 contributed to 5 articles, and 8 contributed to more than 5 articles. An exceptionally prolific contributor is Christine Sutton of the University of Oxford, who contributed 24 articles on particle physics, while Britannica's authors have included writers such as Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, and Leon Trotsky, as well as notable independent encyclopedists such as Isaac Asimov. Some have been criticized for lack of expertise, with a temerity almost appalling, ranges over nearly the whole field of European history, political, social, ecclesiastical, The grievance is that lacks authority. This reliance on editorial energy instead of on ripe special learning may, alas, be also counted an Americanizing, for certainly nothing has so cheapened the scholarship of our American encyclopedias. Staff as of 2007 in the 15th edition of Britannica, Dale Hoiberg, U.S. enologist, was listed as Britannica's senior vice president and editor-in-chief. Among his predecessors as editors-in-chief were Hugh Chisholm, James Lewis Garvin, Franklin Henry Hooper, Walter Yost, Harry Ashmore, Warren E. Preece, Sir William Haley, Philip W. Gertz, and Robert McHenry. As of 2007, Anita Wolff and Theodore Pappas were listed as the deputy editor and executive editor, respectively. Prior executive editors include John V. Dodge and Philip W. Gertz. Paul T. Armstrong remains the longest-working employee of Encyclopædia Britannica. He began his career there in 1934, eventually earning the positions of treasurer, vice president, and chief financial officer in his 58 years with the company, before retiring in 1992. The 2007 editorial staff of the Britannica included 5 senior editors and 9 associate editors, supervised by Dale Hoiberg and 4 others. The editorial staff helped to write the articles of the Micropedia and some sections of the Macropedia. The preparation and publication of the Encyclopædia Britannica required trained staff. According to the final page of the 2007 Propedia, the staff were organized into 10 departments: editorial staff, art and cartography, compositional technology and design, copy department, editorial and publishing technologies, information management, media asset management and production control, reference librarians, world data, manufacturing. Some of these departments were organized hierarchically. For example, the copy editors were divided into 4 copy editors, 2 senior copy editors, 4 supervisors, plus a coordinator and a director. Similarly, the editorial department was headed by Dale Hoiberg and assisted by 4 others. They oversaw the work of 5 senior editors, 9 associate editors, and 1 executive assistant. Editorial advisors. The Britannica has an editorial board of advisors, which includes 12 distinguished scholars: non-fiction author Nicholas Carr, religion scholar Wendy Doniger, political economist Benjamin M. Friedman, Council on Foreign Relations President Emeritus Leslie H. Gelb, computer scientist David Gelenter, physics Nobel laureate Murray Gell-Mann, Carnegie Corporation of New York President Vartan Gregorian, philosopher Thomas Nagel, cognitive scientist Donald Norman, musicologist Don Michael Randell, Stuart Sutherland, Baron Sutherland of Houndwood, president of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, and cultural anthropologist Michael Wesch. The Wikipedia and its outline of knowledge were produced by dozens of editorial advisors under the direction of Mortimer J. Adler. Roughly half of these advisors have since died, including some of the outline's chief architects: René Dubos, Lauren Isley, Harold D. Laswell, Mark Van Doren, Peter Ritchie Calder, and Mortimer J. Adler. The Wikipedia also lists just under 4,000 advisors who were consulted for the unsigned Micropedia articles. Corporate structure. In January 1996, the Britannica was purchased from the Benton Foundation by billionaire Swiss financier Jackie Safra, who serves as its current chair of the board. In 1997, Don Yanez, a longtime associate and investment advisor of Safra, became CEO of Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. In 1999, a new company, Britannica Inc., was created to develop digital versions of the Britannica. Yanez assumed the role of CEO in the new company, while his former position at the parent company remained vacant for 2 years. Yanez's tenure at Britannica Inc. was marked by missteps, considerable layoffs, and financial losses. In 2001, Yanez was replaced by Ilan Yeshua, who reunited the leadership of the two companies. Yanez later returned to investment management, but remains on the Britannica's board of directors. In 2003, a former management consultant, George Aguilar-Caus, was appointed president of Encyclopædia Britannica, Inc. Caus is the senior executive and reports directly to the Britannica's board of directors. Caus has been pursuing alliances with other companies and extending the Britannica brand to new educational and reference products, continuing the strategy pioneered by former CEO Elkan Harrison Powell in the mid-1930s. Under Safra's ownership, the company has experienced financial difficulties, and has responded by reducing the price of its products and implementing drastic cost cuts. According to a 2003 report in the New York Post, the Britannica management has eliminated employee 401 accounts and encouraged the use of free images. These changes have had negative impacts, as freelance contributors have waited up to 6 months for checks and the Britannica staff have gone years without pay rises.